He's still with us, Alex Okosi, Jason Levine, and welcome to Peter Engelbrecht, Teenager at Large. Well, social media and technology plays a crucial role in the lives of the average teen. So before we continue our discussions, here's a clip on what the kids had to say.
BlackBerry's sick right now because they brought out an affordable phone, right? Because before it was just like, wow, my dad has a BlackBerry, my mom has a BlackBerry, now I can have a BlackBerry.
I think the new BlackBerry is awesome and it's slick and it also is affordable for our students.
It's because it's like a mini computer. It's got space bar, it's got control and enter. It's just cool, and it's like a mouse. The middle button is like a mouse. You just touch and like scroll.
I think a big thing, you know, especially as a follower, but also like it's a big status thing.
I like the Nokias, which are really huge. This is like that big. They're not really huge, but yeah.
There are a few reasons why I don't want a BlackBerry. It doesn't have a stopwatch, which is what I find odd.
Well, I'm a fan of Nokia because above everything else, it's a very user-friendly phone, and I think they've managed to stay with the times.
I want a phone that's just like a brick that has buttons, numbers, and then I'm done.
Socializing today is socializing, whether it's on Facebook, mix it with friends, socializing is socializing. Especially with this generation, there's no differentiation between the two.
You could basically talk to them direct. I would talk to my friends directly instead of... I prefer that. Instead of like wasting 2 hours typing.
I think it's more important to spend time with your friends than Facebook it. I used to have a boyfriend, but he felt more comfortable speaking to me on Mixit than in person.
Like, maybe for example, on holidays at 12 o'clock at night, we're still on, logging on.
At school, maybe someone won't speak to me, but on Mixit, all of a sudden, it's like they're your best friend, and it's like, what happened?
They're not outside in the real world. They're not getting enough earth. They're getting too much of electricity.
Jason, just how crucial is technology in the digital space for these kids?
It's massively crucial. I mean, we speak about cell phone as the third kidney because it's access to everything. It's a camera, it's access to the internet, it's data, it's voice, it's SMS, it's Mixit. So it's massively critical. The challenge for marketers is, of course, the degree to which they're allowed to participate in that platform. So of course it's like a great, heavily used platform, massively important, but only there are boundaries and marketers can't over-invade that platform. So all aspects of it are important. The messaging part, the talk part, as you heard, sometimes we speak to our friends physically.
Yeah. Where's this going to end? So, Peter, do you agree with what Jason's saying in terms of the crucial element of technology?
Yes, I do. In a way, I do agree with him because most of my friends, we talk on Mixit while we're not doing homework and stuff, once we finished our studies and stuff.
That was a very good answer there.
But sometimes we get bored of them. We get bored of it, and then we move on from Mixit to Facebook.
To something else, yeah.
And then we get bored with Facebook. Then we go back to Mixit.
But do you need all these gadgets? Do you need all of it?
As a teenager, I feel as though sometimes you need some of them at certain times.
Okay, so what can you not live without? If you had to pick one, is it a cell phone, a laptop? What would you?
If I had to pick out of all the gadgets that I could have, that I only could not live without, I would say a cell phone, because it can do almost everything that.
And what do you use your cell phone for, Peter?
I use it mainly if I want to download music or just chat to my friends on Mixit, as I normally do. Or if I can't go on Facebook on the laptop, I go on Facebook mobile on my phone.
Yeah.
So
but do you think about how much all these digital stuff's costing your parents? Does it even cross your mind?
Yes, it does sometimes.
And you think, well, burn money there.
No, not really. Sometimes I try and cut down on how much internet I'm using.
So you're conscious of that?
Yes,
you are conscious of that?
No, I do know that Facebook can cost a lot more than Mixit, because on most cell phones, Mixit is a lot cheaper than just normal texting.
Okay.
And
they're quite tech savvy, Alex. Are you guys capitalizing on this at the networks?
Well, absolutely. I think the digital space, we have a huge, at least digital media library of content. Because one of the things that young people go to, whether it's Facebook, whether it's downloading content, as you mentioned, music, etc., they're looking for that cutting edge content that they can know about first or see first and share with their friends. So it becomes important for us, and as we've evolved our business to make sure that we have content on all screens. So whether it's having a great movie site, having a great website, so that it enables us to keep on and, you know, at a touch point for them, so they can still be able to access great content that they want when they want it, which is the other thing that's a new development. They want to be able to watch stuff when they want to watch it as well. So while TV remains a very strong part of their lives, it's still the number one medium for them to, you know, get information and entertainment. The digital media space is really, really important, and they really are on Facebook and Twitter and Mixit all the time. So you have to really feed them in all those places.
In fact, we've got some stats, Jason, that you can share with us.
Yeah, I mean, even though South Africa is a developing country, there's 85% cell phone penetration, internet penetration across kids, teens, and young adults. But the important thing to note is a lot of that is not through the way adults access the internet, generally laptops and desktops. It is through cell phone. So about between 40 and 65% of that, depending on what ages you're speaking about, are cell phone access of the internet. So it is increasingly becoming a widespread medium in South Africa, even in poorer households. And it's a massively important tool, and as Alex says, a massively important entertainment device. But entertainment device-wise, still second to TV.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the risks and challenges involved in all of this. Before we get into that, I just want to ask Peter, do you know that there are risks involved in being at Mixit? Do you know anything about that?
Yes, because I do know that there are some risks involved.
What are they?
If somebody sends you an invite that you do not know about, like if somebody invites you to be their friend on Mixit, they could be somebody you've never met, and then they could send you a virus to shut down your phone whenever it comes to the time to do that. Or, as I know, it's on some phones, when they send via Bluetooth, they can actually hack through your phone and
okay, so you're aware of most of the risks. What other risks are involved, Jason?
You know, Peter speaking about viruses.
Digital dangers.
Obviously,
there's physical dangers involved.
There's physical dangers, which the thing for me is that those kind of dangers can be facilitated through other platforms. Like Mixit has developed a bad rap for Mixit sluts and abductions and da-da-da-da-da. The fact is Mixit has over 10 million users, and there have been 4, 5, 8, 10 bad stories about it, which represent an absolute fraction of a percentage of anybody who's on the platform.
We need to take cognizance of that.
Completely. I mean, one case is one case too many. But I think we just need to contextualize it. And parents increasingly, where we have access to them, are very rigorous monitors, particularly of Mixit usage, because it's got a bad rap in the media over the last 2 years. So I think teens are increasingly, as Peter's indicated, aware of the risks. And where parents are present in the home, monitor this stuff really closely. That's a good
point you make, where parents are present in the home. If we talk about single parents, if we talk about other situations, would you say they're more prone to challenges?
I think kids who are not well tended at home have a lot more time on their hands for a start, and will abuse that time in different ways. And it's compounded by the fact that parents aren't there to monitor it. So of course there's risks. The challenge is how to overcome those, and it's always lots of schools now just won't allow up to a certain age cell phones at all. Other schools only allow them at school, but for use during break. So it is being monitored both at school and increasingly at home. But there's many homes that aren't perfect in terms of that.
And maybe the parents don't even know. Are they actually keeping up to date with your parents, for example? Are they keeping up do they know what Mixit is? Do they know what social networking is? And do they monitor you?
To be honest, I'm not sure if my parents know how Mixit works. Because just yesterday, I was taking a break from my studying, since that we all got the strikes now. I was studying at home, and I took a break to go on Facebook. My dad walks in, finds me on Facebook, and it looked as though he didn't know what was going on.
Okay.
So, but I think if you spend enough time looking around, you can eventually find out what's happening, how things are working. And I do have a few friends that their parents do say, no, you're not allowed to use Mixit.
So they monitor it properly.
Yes, you're not allowed to use Mixit at this time of the day and only at this time.
But that doesn't mean they don't care. It just means that they're not astute technologically at this point in time. And Jason, I just want to come back to Mixit. How exactly did Mixit survive all those bad reports that they had?
It's just,
Because they're still quite big.
It's enormous, yeah. There's, I think one of the issues is cost. Peter spoke about the fact how incredibly cheaper mixed messaging is relative to texting. So there's an enormous market demand for it in kids, teens, right, well up into adults in their 20s. And the other thing is, it's kind of an unstoppable force. When you've got a user base of 10, 12, 14 million people, there have been other instant messaging platforms that have started in this country that have different mechanisms to monitor and manage, but they just can't get to the same critical mass. It's kind of trying to topple Coke as a beverage. It's just a really, really hard job.
Alex, your thoughts on that?
Well, I think, to the points earlier, the reality is it's very difficult for parents to monitor. Even if you're the best parent in the world, are you going to tell your kid to give you their cell phone so you can see where they were? It's just impossible.
Probably not.
Because especially, Jason giving the stat that we all know that they go to the internet, they'll go on Facebook, a lot of them through the phone. So how do you actually physically see what's going on? Which is a whole different area that needs to be monitored. It does have to do with parenting from the standpoint of communicating with your kid and making sure they understand the values and what's important and what's not, where they shouldn't go. But in terms of being able for parents to police it, it's just very difficult.
It's not going to happen.
So basically you just have conversations that educate the children.
You got to have conversations. You got to spend time with your young people, understanding what's important to them. Even though they may say you're not cool, dad, or you're not cool, mom, you got to at least be interested.
But isn't that not the point? Is it not up to the parents to, step one, be up to date with what is social networking, and then have a conversation with your children?
Well, I mean, I think you should know the basics. I think, the development is so rampant. I mean, as a parent,
who can keep up?
Who's going to be able to keep up? You got to go to work.
Are so busy earning a living.
Yeah, and I think that those are kind of like the dangers, because when they're on their mobile phone, they can go to any site in the world, that can give them any sort of information that you may or may not want them to be able to see. So I think it's just really about still raising your kids, so that they understand what are the right things to do and the wrong things to do.
We're going to have to leave it there, but thank you so much for your insights. Thank you, Alex, Jason, and thank you, Peter, for joining us today. Well, that concludes our two-part series of Kids and Teens. Join us again next week for more on the world of media and marketing.